Hey everyone, welcome to another Inktober drawing. We are on drawing number 7, and this one is going to be kind of a longer video because I actually did a lot of sketching for this character's particular pose, and then did a lot of, pencil work. And it actually took me a night to do the pencil work, and then a night to do the actual ink drawing. I'm technically cheating a tiny bit with these in that I do a lot of I'll do some of these drawings a day ahead of time, to do the editing and audio and then uploading. So, basically, like, I'm recording this on the 6th, and I recorded this drawing, or I finished this drawing last night. So I'm doing my audio today so I can just cobble it all together and upload it tomorrow, and then I'll be doing my drawing for the 8th, either tonight or tomorrow night, just to talk a little bit about how the sausage is made. And yeah, this one took a long time to get the pencil work done, and then it didn't take that long to ink. It took maybe about under 2 hours. It had a lot of detail though. This is probably the most detailed out of all of these ink drawings. Yesterday's was pretty detailed, but this one has an insane amount of stuff going on. So first and foremost, the pose for the character, she's a mechanic. That's her role. She's a mechanic, engineer, hacker type. Generally speaking, if it's a small machine with a lot of things that require programming on it, that's what her specialty is, just handling those. So computers, drones, nano, things of that nature. Futuristic tablet or laptop would be her forte in fixing, altering, upgrading, or dismantling, or hacking, subverting, turning into a weapon, making not a weapon, etc., etc., etc. She's kind of a rigger for light mechanical things, and a programmer. So she's sort of, if hacker and engineer were classes, she'd be whatever the dual class is for that. So I wanted her, obviously, at some form of table. I wanted her doing something with, a small machine in her hands. But I didn't want her to be, like, a standard-looking mechanic. I didn't want her in a jumpsuit with, a utility belt. I wanted to have her with a bit of style on her character. So that's why I'm also including, like, the thumbnailing. And you can see in the thumbnails, I don't think they've passed yet. What's my time at? I have no idea what's on the screen right now. It's actually, I'm completely doing this blind. Blinder than usual, because I haven't actually time crunched the drawing yet. So yeah, the thumbnails, I did a couple. I did somewhere she's looking to the left, somewhere she's looking to the right, somewhere she's standing, somewhere she's sitting. And ultimately, I did this one sort of in the middle of the second row that is her sitting down, like, with her elbow leaning on a table, with a table in the foreground, and I really liked it, but I wanted it to be flipped, so I did a sketch at the end of my thumbnails where I flipped it around and basically did the same composition. So part of the composition, you have the table in the lower left corner that's basically cutting off and keeping your eye looking, like, keeping your eye in the image. And then in the upper left and upper right, I have these very dark pipings and chords, and they're sort of there as well to sort of keep your eye bouncing around the image while you're mostly going to want to look at her. Same thing with having, like, her face is going to be technically within the window that's in the drawing as well. So I wanted, like, certain things to keep your eye in the image compositionally. And then obviously, because she's a mechanical character, I wanted her with a lot of tools and junk all around her. So as the drawing progresses, you won't actually see that in the first half of it. The first half of it was just putting the character down with, like, the stool, and then putting the tables in, putting where the window's going to be in, and then putting some of the hanging crap in there. And then I actually went in and inked the character then. So the drawing was technically nowhere near complete when I started the inking process. And with the inking, it was mostly some pretty basic stuff I've been doing before. I've been doing all of these on watercolor paper, and in case anyone's wondering why some things look really rough, that's why, is there's a texture to the paper. I'm not using Bristol board or illustration board. I'm using watercolor paper for that particular reason. I wanted a bit of texture on the character, on the drawing. I wanted just some texture in there. I wanted it to have an interesting feel, not be super smooth or super refined, because I'm not a super smooth or refined artist. I'm really, really rough. So I went with a paper that was really, really rough. So her hair, the way I got the texture on her hair when I get to inking it in the video, whether that's happened or not, that's how I got that texture in her hair. It was sort of noodling a little bit, but it was mostly letting the paper through. And that's how I got the kind of, like, crimpled texture her hair has. And that's why, like, some of the textures, some work better than others. Like, I think close hatching looks really good with this. But certain things, it's like, it requires multiple passes to get a single solid line on there. And that's kind of the disadvantage of using a highly textured piece of paper to do these drawings on. So yeah, the first half was me just inking her. So I wanted also to throw some interesting differences in her clothing down. So she's got some flat blacks with the stockings, and then like her skirt has the hatches, and then she's got, not detailed at all for her tunic, tank top, whatever, and skin too. So I didn't want to do like noodly detail everywhere like I did with the previous drawing. I wanted to do some different types of fills, I guess, on her. So the second part of the drawing I did the next day. I was sort of really tired, and I didn't want to go into details I wouldn't like, so I let the drawing sit overnight, and I came back to it, and that's when I filled in the pencil work for the table in front of her, the table she's leaning on, and what's out the window. So the table in front of her, I just wanted it to be some trash. So we got like a black cloth, mostly black because I already put the line down for the table, and I had to go over it, so I'm like, you know what, I'll just make it a matte black cloth of some kind. You got some books sitting right next to that, crumpled paper, a very damaged drone is what the thing is, kind of in the center of the table, and then like a screwdriver, a wrench, tuning fork thing, and then a cup. And then I put a lot of hatches and scratches on the table because it's a work table. And that's what happens with work tables. You just get lots of crap on them, whether it's food, pen marks, scratches, dings, nicks, etc., etc., etc. Even right now, where I do all my drawings, I have like pen marks all over the place, and there's even some whiteout marks. And that just tends to happen in areas where you do work. For the table she's leaning on, it was the same thing. Lots of hatches, a toolbox open in front of her, some tools just sitting next to it, some sort of case on screen left, I guess you would say. And then right behind her, that is a ignored steaming thing of food. It's in like a little black plastic container. And that's a fork just sticking in it, or utensil, I should say, just sticking in it. So yeah, she's choosing to work on this little drone rather than eat, which happens when you get really, really into a project. And in the back wall, there's some sort of panel, some more hanging wires, some more scratches and dings and splats. And I hatched underneath the desk, or underneath the table she's leaning on, to have it, register that it's kind of in shadow more. Same thing with the front of the table, where I put some drips and stuff on it as well. Actually, I'm looking at it now, and I should really maybe put a box, or something underneath her right foot, because it's higher than her left foot. So it's obviously on something, or she's like maybe sitting it on her leg in some weird pose. I don't know, it's just like her one leg is higher than the other, and I probably should have put a reason for that in there, but oh well. I mean, you can make up a reason like I just did. And then out the window, obviously the characters are all in these urban landscapes. So I wanted something a little more standard than the gothic stuff from 2 days ago. And I just went with buildings, and I threw an airship in there, sort of like a Blade Runner-y airship. And it has, a blank panel on the side. And that would be sort of like that poster from yesterday where I said, oh, if I had the inclination to run this through Photoshop, I'd probably plop an ad in there, a fake ad. The come to the off-world colonies, a new life awaits you, type of thing. basically like Blade Runner. And then the buildings are just, you know, whatever. One's a cylinder, the others are kind of edgier. And then I threw one of my little organic airships in the far background. And then very, very faintly, I have a really far away background, which is just some, like, implications of buildings far back. You don't need to do a lot to actually put a lot of buildings in there. Just a couple little teeny lines, and it's like, oh, those are buildings. They're just really far away and kind of blending together, even though they're all the same, like, square shape. That's just something you'll see it a lot in animation and things. And then over top of the window, to make sure it looked like a window, I threw some Presto pen lines. I don't actually think there's a lot. I don't think there's any, actually, errors in the inking where I went in with a Presto pen to fix a thing I did wrong. I think I actually threw down the line work and said, this is where the line work is, this is where it belongs, and that's it. So, I think that just about covers all of the super detailed image here. It was a lot of stuff, and it was a lot of fun. I don't know if I'm actually going to maintain this level of detail and everything that I do going forward, but I'm going to shoot for a lot of detail from now on. I did it in the past 3, and tomorrow's is going to be a continuation of the characters, I think, because I really enjoy doing these characters. And yeah, we're going to do another one, and I'm going to sort of expand on the world as well. I'm going to show off different places, different styles of characters, and really try to show off that this is a built-up world I've been creating for a while now. And we'll see how it goes as the month progresses even further. So please visit my Patreon page. You'll find a link in the description below, and there's going to be one shown on screen. You can also check out my gaming channel. I don't know if the video's up yet, but I should have the Start to the Endless Space early access pseudo playthrough up. I only do about 3 or 4 episodes, but yeah, it's Endless Space 2. It looks awesome. The game looks awesome so far. But of course it's early access, and that means everything can change in the game, so I'm not doing a serious playthrough of it. And another Magic the Gathering video should be up on that channel pretty soon, as is some more Grim Dawn stuff, as usual. So, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see ya tomorrow.